This is Grow Omaha Uncut, where you can watch our radio show, including what goes on in the commercial breaks. And be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. Oh, we're starting, people.
Work on that.
Heath, do I have to push anything, or are we good to go?
You should not have to push.
Okay.
My makeup person?
I mean, you look great.
I wish I had a dream team.
Well, good morning and welcome to the Grow Omaha show on News Radio 1110 KFAB. Jeff Beals at your service, sitting next to my good friend and co-host Trenton Maggot. We represent NAI NP Dodge Commercial Real Estate, and we're also brought to you by D&M Roofing. Guess what? We are live at Nebraska Crossing, Interstate 80, Highway 31 in Gretna. And not just are we live in Nebraska Crossing, but we are in a brand new store. But before we tell you about that, let's bring on Rod Yates, founder and owner of Nebraska Crossing. Good morning, Rod.
Thank you, Jeff and Trenton. Great to have you back out again.
Thank you for having us. It's been a long time since we've been out here.
Yeah, and I was thinking this morning, it's almost a 1-year anniversary since we reopened the center in COVID. And Johanna and I went through a heck of a lot in that whole experience of getting back open. So I wanted to acknowledge you guys again for all the help you gave us in getting the place back open. I remember a bunch of my New York friends called me and said, "Hey, Rachel Maddow just called you a madman and you're out of your mind and all this stuff." And I think you guys had heard about it. And yeah, that's what I said to my New York friends. She doesn't even know me. I haven't even met her yet for her to say that. So, but you guys heard about it, had us, Johanna and I, on the show, and really gave us a lot of great support through a very tough time last year when we were reopening. So you guys should.
Well, we did the easy part. You guys did the hard part, and you guys were trailblazers and pioneers in the time of COVID, and you saw the future that few people did, and realized that you can take precautions and still do commerce.
Yeah, well, we put a lot of effort. Johanna did 99% of it, but it was a tough time this time last year. There was a lot of unknowns, and retail was upside down, but we felt as the 40th populated state in the country, we had to be the first to be open, because when you're the last to open, you never know if you'll get it back open again. So we took some risks, we took some challenges, but you two guys were so supportive and helpful, and I'll never forget it.
Well, you are the ones that wrote the playbook on how to open retail and how to take precautions while you do it, and you basically shared that with the world. You're kind of like the Jonas Salk of retail reopening.
Yeah, so Johanna, when things closed March 15th, I said to Johanna, we've got to write a playbook, because we need to lead through this, and most people won't be thinking the way we think entrepreneurially. And Johanna wrote a phenomenal playbook that went into every boardroom of every retailer, of every national real estate owner, and we heard time and time again, we used your playbook and strategy to get back open. So it was a big contribution to a very, very important industry, and it really was a good time to get back open, and we did it.
Well, and speaking of this Johanna person, that's Johanna Boston, who's sitting right next to us. Good morning.
Trenton, it's really great to see you, because every time I'm on, you're on vacation. So I'm happy to see your face.
My flight got canceled.
He's around this time.
I knew something was up.
But Johanna, we are sitting in this brand new store called Scarlet Highway, and we'll talk more about it in a later segment here when we bring on the store manager, Taylor. But tell us a little bit, just briefly, this is opening day for this brand new boutique retailer, one of a kind, and as I look around the store, it's like nothing I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's really a unique concept. Rod, his home is out in Park City, Utah, and he happened to see an inspirational store out there that, we office on site here every day. We're above the Kate Spade building. We see what our consumers want out here, and we notice that there's a huge void. We have these global and national retailers that are amazing. But if you want a card and a gift wrap, personal gift that it's unique, and you don't want something that everyone else has, we really didn't have that out in this environment. So Rod saw this concept, and I'll let him talk about it after. But we brought in such unique brands. We're really proud to feature about 150 small solo-owned businesses that focus on sustainability, organic products, things that you just do not find in this market. And it's really exciting to kind of bring this to the state of Nebraska, and actually the 5-state region that we reach.
I tell you what I really like, Jeff, to build on what Johanna said, is everything's locally manufactured. We don't get that mass production from across seas that comes into these stores. It's all locally manufactured, and they don't produce a bunch of it. And so we're proud to be partnering up with these small companies and brands and bringing them into Nebraska so they have a presence in this market.
Well, we're going to learn a lot more about this store and about other things going on at Nebraska Crossing. Later on, we're going to bring on the mayor of Gretna. This town is growing so fast, so we have so many questions to ask there and so little time to do it. But first, let's get into our news of the week, which is brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com. They know mortgages, and it's a crazy housing market right now. In fact, just saw a social media post from Mike Reedman, our president emeritus at NP Dodge Residential, says that Omaha is the number 2 most competitive housing market in the United States of America. 67% of listed houses sell within 2 weeks. We're hearing lots of stories of 10, 15, 20 offers on the day a house goes on the market. So if that is the situation that we're living in right now, one thing you must have is a pre-approval letter. And you can get that pre-approval letter from Eagle Mortgage Company. It doesn't matter whether it's FHA, VA, or conventional loans. They do all of that. You can find them at eaglemortgagecompany.com. First up on the docket, Trenton, the Baby Bob Bridge is getting closer to reality. This is going to be in North Downtown and is designed to connect North Downtown with the Bob Carey pedestrian bridge.
I've given a lot of thought about that, and I think it's about a 10-minute walk that they're going to bridge over the railroad. And I think that they should name the Bob Carey Bridge. I think they should just call that the Robert, and then the small one can be the Bob.
Or the Bobby.
The Bobby's good too.
It's a $6.4 million project. Completion is slated for 2023, and it looks like construction should be starting very soon on that. Speaking of construction announcements for downtown Omaha, there were 2 very big stories this week, and one of those, plans were released, or at least the results of a memorandum of understanding were released between the city of Omaha and real estate developer White Lotus Group. And the plan calls for a pretty densely developed mixed-use civic auditorium site. That, of course, is 17th, 18th, Capitol Street, goes a couple blocks north to the 480 viaduct. But in phase 1, we're talking about 388 apartment units. Of those, 120 would be mixed income. Now, the city, in order to prevent a debacle that happened many, many years ago with the old Wall Street Tower site, has put a deadline on there, and it is construction must start or building permits must be granted by 2023 in order to make this happen. But Trenton, I think this is pretty much what that part of downtown needs.
Absolutely. White Lotus Development, Arun Agarwal, who owns that company, very competent. They've done some huge projects, and this will be one of them. And that land has been sitting there for a long time. There was a failed attempt in 2017 with another developer, and these guys are going to come through with this project. It's well thought out. You're going to have a mixed-use development and apartments, retail, office, and it really completes what's been a kind of a gaping hole in that area.
Yeah, and it will be fun to see how that plays with some of the other big projects. The $300 million Tri-Park renovation, the Kiewit Science Museum, so many other projects going in that area. We're hearing about a large office building coming to the city library site eventually. So we'll keep our eyes on that. So many things happening in the downtown area. Okay, the other big news this week, Representative Don Bacon, congressman from the 2nd District here in Nebraska, representing most of the metro area. He made an announcement this week that Omaha has been officially chosen, namely the University of Nebraska Medical Center and Nebraska Medicine, as one of 5 pilot sites for a Department of Defense and really other federal agencies as well to develop a future catastrophic events response center. Something that we've talked about in order to help America deal with pandemics, even an attack on the homeland or what have you. We got this along with Washington, D.C., Denver, San Antonio, and Sacramento. Everything that we are hearing indicates that we'll probably be the first one to launch. And more importantly, this is part of the $2.6 billion Project Next that we've been talking about that will create 8,700 jobs in Midtown, paying on average $75,000 a year.
And 41,000 construction jobs, I'm sure, over time, over the 5 to 7 years it takes to build this thing. And that $2.6 billion, Jeff, could go up to $4 billion or something, just depending on the scope. And we shall see. But Mayor Stothert and Pete Ricketts and everybody, the city council, and everyone that has been involved in this project, once it gets final funding and everything else, it's going to be huge.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dr. Jeffrey Gold, Chancellor of UNMC, came out and said, it could go up to $4.3 billion. And that doesn't even include the 10 to 12 story administrative building that's planned on the west side of Saddle Creek, the incubation center inside the old steel plant.
Yeah, it's not $1 trillion like we talk about on federal terms, but we'll take the $4.3 billion.
Hey, we've talked in the past about D&M Roofing's free roof for a veteran giveaway. This is something so cool that they do. They take care of veterans who've done so much to take care of us. Folks, you need to know that the nomination deadline is May 14th. So if you want to be a part of this, there are a couple ways you could do it. Just go to dandmroofing.com. Otherwise, you could email Lindsay at dandmroofing.com, Lindsey. But we really commend D&M Roofing for doing that for our veterans. Hey, one last thing before we break for the news. Again, we've had this new newsletter out for the last 4 weeks. We've had 5 editions. It is wildly popular. We've had many hundreds of people opt in since it started coming out, but we get complaints sometimes from people saying, I signed up, but I didn't get it. That's because your spam filter is a little persnickety and sensitive. What you need to do is go in and mark News at Grow Omaha as an approved sender, or even put it in your address book.
News at growomaha.com, right?
News at growomaha.com, and then you'll be safe. And if you haven't signed up yet, just go to growomaha.com, hit the market report link on the navigation bar, and you'll be able to put your name in there.
Don't cost nothing.
That's the news of the week, brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com. When we come back, we're going to talk more about this amazing boutique store, Scarlet Highway, that opens today in Nebraska Crossing. We're sitting inside the store right now. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. You're going to want to come out and see it. And we're going to talk about Just Data and some amazing things that are happening at Nebraska Crossing in the technology world. And we're even going to interview Mike Evans, the mayor of Gretna. So stay with us. Action-packed show. You're listening to Jeff and Trenton on Grow Omaha, brought to you by D&M Roofing and NAINP Dodge on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
Hey, Rob, we're still on video, guys, everywhere. So, this is the
Can
Uncut.
you cut that out, Amy? Jeez.
No, it's Uncut. That's why we call it Uncut.
Okay.
Jeff, do you realize this is the first, not that I'm, about 900 shows we've had in the last 17 and a half years. This is the first time that you introduced Rod, somebody else besides introducing your co-host. But other than that, I'm cool.
That must hurt.
But
That must hurt.
Yeah, I did. I said I'm sitting right next
My
to
good friend,
Okay,
Trenton.
that's true. Okay.
Yeah. I just didn't.
I didn't get good friend today.
I didn't get a speaking part.
Sometimes I get good friend. I didn't get it today.
We'll get that on the
I usually get legendary deal
Yes.
maker, but
I do like the Bob and the Bobby or the Robert.
yeah, I like the Bobby.
Baby Bobby Bridge?
We're going to take care of
Oh my God,
I want
please
my
tell me
baby
they're not
Bobby,
calling
baby
it that.
Bobby.
Yeah.
The Baby Bobby Bridge.
the Bobby, the baby
The
Bobby.
Bobby.
Bridge.
The baby Bobby.
That's a lot of alliteration.
I wonder if this
Yeah.
one's gonna be
Yeah.
pork roll spending like the first one was.
Hey.
No offense, Bob.
Hey,
We love you, Bob.
we are.
You served our country.
We are categorically opposed
Thank
to
you.
pork barrel spending unless it benefits us.
Right.
Then we're generally okay with it.
Well, if it's gonna get spent, we just want to get some.
Yeah, we've got to get. We want our fair share and maybe a little bit.
So what do we get? 900 million to spend? Is that what the latest number is?
God, I can't even keep track.
Nebraska.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I don't know how you spend it. I mean, it's not like we have infrastructure problems here.
So I have a few ideas. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? No, but
it's really
infrastructure. Well, we don't have like
What do you
downtown
got?
Chicago
Potholes
infrastructure.
schedule or what?
Yeah. I would like, there's some improvements, some road improvements that I
Yeah, for sure.
like. In fact, one.
But that'll be a different bill. That's
that'll be a
another
different bill,
Biden
a
bill.
transportation bill.
Yeah.
You know, one thing I think we need to do transportation-wise that'll have an impact on this property long-term. I think the state fumbled the ball when they made 204th Street a 4-lane divided highway as opposed to a freeway.
Right.
Did you see the traffic on that thing?
It's
There's
bad.
rush hour space.
Right.
It takes you so much longer. I go all the way 80 and then swing back around to Dodge just to avoid the
No, I
traffic on
cannot.
Highway 6. It's not.
920 with 59.
So would that take out stoplights, or what would that do?
What is it?
If you turn something into a freeway.
And I'll just, because she always plays the bumper music, so.
Okay.
Can you tell her to make sure she plays the bumper music loud?
Yep.
Okay.
Play that bumper music.
But yeah, that should have been from Dodge all the way to at least the north side of Gretna.
Somewhere.
All the way
You think
down
there'd be no
80
stoplights
somewhere.
then?
It should have been 80.
Yeah.
And we will regret that. Because if you think about it, during morning and evening rush, it's already packed.
Forget it.
And
During the day, though,
the
too.
vast majority of land along it is yet to be developed.
Right?
So how would you cross it then? Like if you were going west?
Just like they did with Dodge, they'll either dig
Dig
under
under,
or put
go
bridges
over.
Yeah. Because remember, Dodge was, so that's what they're gonna do someday. They'll have to do
Like a
what we
double
did with
decker.
Dodge, but we did it after Omaha was already developed, and we'll regret that.
Yeah, that,
I don't know.
I try to do everything to avoid taking Highway 6. Like if
Yeah.
I have to go to West Center and out
You
west.
should take Highway 31 instead.
Oh, okay. Isn't it the same?
Yeah.
But they drive like interstates.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Oh, I'm
70
guilty
miles
of
an
that.
hour. Just
I do, but you got the lights and people
Yeah.
don't drive
Oh,
very
Steve,
well on it.
we're back, people. Welcome back to Grow Omaha, the area's only show that focuses on the growth and development of your favorite city. Jeff Beals sitting next to the legendary real estate deal maker himself,
Thanks.
Trenton Magid.
If you listen to the uncut version, you can see why he's putting emphasis on legendary.
And I'm also sitting across the table from my dear friend, Rod Yates, who is the developer, founder, and owner of Nebraska Crossing. By the way, Rod, congratulations. Sarpy County Tourism came out with their awards, and I see Best Retail Attraction, Nebraska Crossing.
Yeah, Fred, you came out a couple weeks ago and filmed a little video with Johanna. You'll see that on social media, but we love the attention and the accolades, and tourism's a very, very important part of our business model here, so we love seeing it.
In all honesty, if they probably included the entire metro area for retail attraction, I'm thinking you probably would have come in first in the metro area too, because there are brands out here that you don't find anywhere else in the state of Nebraska.
Yeah, Jeff, that's purposeful because our whole goal here is to bring the brands in that'll have one store in the state of Nebraska, because we serve a big footprint here, and I want to make it as unique as possible and bring all those new-to-market brands to Nebraska Crossing.
Well, we are broadcasting live from the brand new Scarlet Highway store. It's a boutique store that is just opening for business today inside Nebraska Crossing, and we're going to bring on Taylor Krychek. She is the manager of the new store. Good morning, Taylor. Might have that a little closer. There you go. So this store is amazing. When I look around, I see some apparel items, but I also see gifts. I also see decorations, if we can use that term. I see a lot of things. It's the type of place where if a person wanted to shop for his or her mother the day before Mother's Day, this might be a good destination.
Sister too.
Yes, definitely the perfect spot for that. We're about 40% clothing and 60% giftable items. So we have everything you could imagine for any type of gift you need. It's a one-stop shop, definitely.
Now, Taylor, this is kind of exciting for you because you're just finishing up your undergraduate degree here and coming right into launching the store alongside Rod and Johanna. And this has got to be kind of exciting for you, given what you studied, to be on the ground floor of what could possibly be a store that is in many locations.
She's getting her master's at the store.
Yes, it is very exciting. I'm very thankful to have this opportunity and be able to experience everything that I already have experienced in the short time that I've worked here, helping getting the store open and working with buying and learning about all this new product and all the amazing things.
And the hours are probably the same as most stores here in the center.
Yeah, we're open 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, and then Sundays are 11 to 6.
Trenton and I were fortunate enough to be here for a pre-grand opening party last night, and you guys had a bunch of guests here. And I tell you, you had a lot of people going in the back trying things on, and I know we walked out with a bag full of purchases. I think the eclectic nature of it will really cause it to be popular with people for a long, long time.
Yeah, it's a very unique store. There's certainly nothing like this boutique in Omaha or anywhere in Nebraska. I've never seen anything like it before. It's an amazing concept, and I think everybody's going to love it.
Taylor, let's go over to Johanna right there. Johanna, you played the key role in merchandising this place. It's a new creation. Unlike most of the other retailers that you have here in Nebraska Crossing, you do a deal with a national brand that already exists. You guys created this. How the hell do you go about merchandising a store for the first time that doesn't exist?
It's really a lot of fun and a lot of work. I don't think people would realize how hard it is to find unique products that you really want to highlight, unique businesses like Rod was saying. Lots of them are local. If they're not local, they're just a one-off mom and pop, but everything is professionally done. So you're talking about artisans. You know, these people really love their craft. Soy candles with no dyes, plastics, etc. Things that burn cleanly. Everything about sustainability. Green companies. Our denim has no dyes or harsh chemicals. Made in LA. You know, so we're really supporting, honestly, the United States and all of these small business owners, and to merchandise it's really a lot of fun. If you had a lot of work, you know, a lot of free time, this is totally in my wheelhouse. I grew up in the fashion industry in New York City, and I just love this. But, you know, we wanted to create this concept that you don't really need anything. Maybe you're walking into a store and you don't really need anything, but you're going to find 5 different things. Oh, this is perfect for my sister, or this is my best friend. You know, we have yoga, really unique yoga gear, etc., from a company that makes their yoga gear out of 85% water bottles, recycled water bottles. So.
Well, there's great gifts here, but I realized when I was in here that you could actually buy stuff and use it yourself too. So
you can, absolutely.
Okay. There's no limitation on that, people.
Absolutely.
Rod, we wanted to talk to you a little bit about the future. I mean, you guys created Scarlet Highway not with the intention of having just this store here.
No, it's and we got an interesting call last night after the festivities last night, where Johanna's done in a very quick period of time developed some really good relationships with these artisans. So the CEO of Woven called me last night on my way home and said, "Hey, the people in our company love Johanna, and we'd love to discuss with you guys opening more stores together and creating a partnership." And she invited us to come out to LA and spend some time with her. So, you know, it's a unique opportunity. I think there's unbelievable opportunities around the country. I think every landlord in North America is looking for new retail concepts for their malls, and I think it's going to be a really unique opportunity. You know, maybe this becomes the next Lululemon type concept, all here in Gretna, Nebraska, which would be really cool. But we're off to a good start. It's been well received by the community, and I think it's going to be a neat fit for the center.
And if I could just add on one thing, the uniqueness about this is the product is going to change weekly. So we're constantly getting in shipments. We buy 6 to 10 pieces of each product, 1 or 2 runs of, you know, the garments that we carry. So when you come in, if you see it, you need to buy it, because the next time you come in, it's probably not going to be here.
Yeah, it's not just the same stuff over and over again.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, we're going to take our middle of the show break, but when we come back, we're going to interview the mayor of Gretna, Mike Evans, and then we're going to talk to Rod about some other retail concepts that are new here at Nebraska Crossing. And you don't want to miss that, because as everyone always says, their favorite part about this show is hearing about the... Well, other than that, the new restaurants and retailers that are coming to the area. So you're listening to Grow Omaha. It's brought to you by D&M Roofing and NAI NP Dodge. We are live on location at the brand new Scarlet Highway boutique store inside Nebraska Crossing. Opens at 10 o'clock. So as soon as this show is over, get in the car, come on out here, and Trent and I will even stick around for a while and say hi to you. All right, back in a moment on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
You got to talk about 50% off.
Great stuff.
Cash back.
Cash back.
We're doing 30 in here.
Yes.
We're doing 30 in here.
30 is okay.
Yep.
For how long?
Until I don't know. Until Rod says.
Until we acquire 10,000 customers. Got to create a community.
A bunch of people were signing up for it yesterday.
Were they?
After I told them the 30%.
That's great.
Signing up for Fast Cash for the
No.
time? Oh, good. Okay.
I signed up twice, so I get 30%.
Get
Awesome.
60.
Oh, then you don't need this. Thanks.
You can have that. Because I already put it here. Go ahead.
Oh, damn.
Okay, you can have it back.
Trent knows the deal.
That's smart. One of the cheerleaders was walking around last night. She literally put her gift card down in like 4 different places. She lost it twice. I ended up having to give her a different one, and she's like, "I found it." I'm like, "You found it in my pocket. This was for somebody else."
Did she not have pockets?
Yeah, I have no idea. She had a bag and everything. She just kept setting it down,
Gave it to
setting it down.
Gave it to her hotel or something?
Well, because I know a lot of women's pants don't have pockets.
Yeah, no, we don't have pockets like you get. But yeah, she had. Yeah, I don't know. It was like.
See, I get
No, I think we'll find that somebody is using it. So we can track that.
someone's like, I found this gift card.
Kelly will check it out later.
Oh yeah. So in this segment, let's start with you, Mike. And
Okay.
we'll do some of that sort of stuff, and then I want to hit a little bit of the new retailers.
Yeah.
And then our fourth segment is our lightning round. I have to do a couple of quick news items.
Yeah.
But then I'd like to talk a little fast cash, just data.
Just data, for sure.
Okay. So we'll
Yeah.
get that in. It's fast when we have all this stuff going on.
Started to pick up again in
Yeah. Oh yeah. We
So nice.
One of the reasons let's not kid ourselves, we did the newsletter because it's a revenue source, but one of the reasons, the missionary reason we did the newsletter was because on a lot of weeks, like this week, we have probably 2 to 3 times the amount of content that we have space for in the
Really?
radio show. So
That's fantastic.
we get it out some other way.
And it really helps everybody because even everybody's, what's going on here? What's going on here? It just eliminates some of those questions. I know even in Gretna, it's like, what's going over here? What's going over here? When you guys put that out there, it really does help communicate to the public what's going on.
Yeah, I appreciate that. We cover Gretna a lot. If for no other reason, then there's a lot of construction out here.
So, when I think maybe Papillion and Lewiston have the same issue. First, maybe you can say something about Omaha, but when you talk about Gretna, do people geographically understand where Gretna is?
I think the big part of it is the school. Because the school, you connect with the school you're at. And so if you go to Gretna School District, I think those people identify.
I think that's one thing Nebraska Crossing has done for you. And this is just a plug for you guys, but it's like, oh, okay, that's Gretna.
Right.
The malls
Oh,
in
for
Gretna.
sure.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the growth of the last few years, just even the last 7 years since we've been here, this corridor is just booming.
You've been to Legends.
Yeah.
All 4 corners of here will be built in the next 10 years.
Yeah.
If not during his administration.
Yeah.
5 years, he said. I mean, it's all going to be built out.
Commercially either?
Both.
The state had one
Yeah,
at
I
one
mean,
point.
different types of commercial. All commercial, but other side of the interstate, probably industrial.
I always thought that would be, if amusement parks were viable, indoor,
I know.
outdoor here, I mean, that would be
That would be perfect.
a compliment to this.
It really would.
They-
With the river, just
It'd be the right spot, yeah, if they worked, yeah.
The state was
They
saying
work.
that 22% of all households have somebody commuting from Lincoln or Omaha, like a split. Yeah, when we were in a meeting, and they said when we get to 25%, then we'll do some acquisition. That's at least what was told to us. I don't know if it's true or not, but that's what they said.
Well, interesting.
22%.
The Census Bureau.
I should probably say probably from Omaha, right?
yeah, maybe.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. Yeah, because the Census Bureau says that the way an area that is adjacent to the primary city or primary established part of the metro area becomes a part of it is if 25% or more of
That's what they said
people commute.
in the meeting, and they said we're close to
That's
it,
like
and
Gretna's.
then Gretna is the perfect
I
location
see.
because it's pretty much smack right in the middle with access.
John, so
Right.
Jeff, I think we'd be really good here. Just one little piece here, maybe back to Taylor. So Taylor's graduates from college next month, and that's what I want Nebraska Crossing, Gretna to be, is this place where there's all these different kind of unique kind of jobs and opportunities. So you look at Taylor, right? She'll be going to LA to go to the buyers markets, working with Johanna on merchandising the store. That's going to be a big role she's going to have to take on. Most of these people who want to work in retail, that's all handled corporately, right? They don't get access to buyers markets and working with these vendors that started Woven and all these brands here. So if we do more and more of this stuff here, that's a really unique offering that we have because we view this Nebraska Crossing as an ecosystem, and all these things hatch out of an ecosystem, and they create unbelievable employment opportunities, make Gretna a cooler place to live, to work, and play, and all the things that
we have goals for with Mayor Evans. So
What if we said that, okay, because we could work that in his part.
yeah,
Or you might, if we run out of time, you could also work that into the whole Just Data stuff, because that's
could do
part
that.
of the
Right,
connection.
it's part of the
Yeah.
ecosystem.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Yep. Great.
okay, we'll figure
This is
that
how the
out.
sausage is made, ladies and gentlemen, during the break.
1 minute, thank you. 1 minute, people. The middle break is always long. People have to listen to the weather and the news and all sorts of stuff that's not us, which they really want.
We used to cut it, right?
Yeah, they won't let us anymore. So Uncut just knows that.
Huh.
We used to cut the news at half hour, but they won't let us anymore. So we'll see who watches Uncut.
Yeah. I give my wife another source to watch you guys.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
she should always watch Uncut because you get to get all this. I mean, you get to hear our opinion about 204th Street.
Yeah. That interchange will give some relief when they finally get it, but it's still,
Yeah.
7 years out or something.
What I think will happen someday, someday they'll probably have, or the other option I guess maybe is they just turn it into a 6-lane version of what it is, and then they put a outer Beltway freeway west of the Elkhorn River.
Right.
But either way, if they do part of 204th Street as a freeway, as you approach Gretna proper, you're going to have to throw a bypass out there.
The river's, it's.
Yeah. Oh, here we are, people. Work with Trenton. That's what you want to say. There we go. And welcome back to Grow Omaha. We are live at Nebraska Crossing inside the brand new Scarlet Highway Boutique store. Jeff Beals and Trenton Magid at your service from NAI NP Dodge. We're also brought to you by D&M Roofing. And Rod Yates was kind enough to invite the mayor of Gretna with us, Mike Evans. Mike, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, good morning. I really appreciate the invite, Rod, and also everything you guys do for the metro area with the commercial real estate and letting us know what's going on.
Well, thank you. Trenton and I love Gretna, and we talk about Gretna a lot because you have so much happening here. It seems like every week we mention some new business or project in your area, Mike.
Yeah, it's been, growth has been fantastic. I think just at our planning commission last week or 2 weeks ago, we had 3 residential developments come up and 1 industrial. So, the important thing is to keep it a community while we have the growth, but the growth is certainly coming.
Your administration just started in December, and
Yeah.
your campaign was during an unprecedented pandemic.
Yeah, it's really good to kind of be on the backside of that, because it was a unique experience, and it just feels good to see commerce coming back and things picking up.
This has got to be one of the fastest growing cities in the state of Nebraska. I mean, with everything happening in Gretna.
It really is. I don't know the exact numbers, but our corridors are seeing a lot of pressure from the south on the highway and from 370, and now even to the north, we're starting to see that push down from Omaha. So a lot of exciting opportunities here.
When I was talking to you last night at the pre-opening, you were saying that a moderate, a reasonable annexation for Gretna could theoretically double the population because you have so much adjacent developed area now.
Yeah, our school district has been, well known for its education, and so the community is about, say 5,000 or 6,000 people, but our school district's 30,000. So all these houses are filling in around the area, and there's a couple of plans that have been out there, and we're looking forward to just kind of seeing the community build out.
Now, when Gretna someday develops the entire amount of land in Sarpy County that is reserved or earmarked for it, we're probably talking about a city that could be, 50,000 people or something like that?
Yes, that's the number I hear, and that you guys are well aware. Sarpy County, the big thing is infrastructure, whether it's sewers or streets. You have to do it smart. So I think eventually it will be here.
Yeah, I believe about 40% of Sarpy County, because it needs to be sewerable, hasn't been developed yet. So you can imagine how big Sarpy will get.
Yeah, in fact, I also want to ask you another question, Mayor. Nebraska Crossing is a huge presence in your city, in your area, but there's a lot of land around it that is yet to be developed. What does the city have as a vision for working with Nebraska Crossing or around Nebraska Crossing so that this could be a catalyst for more development in this area?
Well, they've been, Rod and Johanna and Nebraska Crossing, been a great partner for Gretna and even the state. I mean, we pull I'm not sure the traffic count on I-80, but a lot of people get off this interchange, and it creates a lot of revenue. And not only do we work with it, but people around the area are well aware of what they do. So we have people approach us about this interchange and area because of Nebraska Crossing, not even us going out to market it. So they've identified this. I mean, they are this corner.
Okay, well, Rod, I want to ask you, while we still have a few moments in this segment, let's talk about some of the new retailers in addition to Scarlet Highway that are coming to the center.
Yeah, a little context for that. COVID was tough on every shopping center in North America. We lost 15, 16 tenants, mainly due to bankruptcies, where they weren't just closing Nebraska, they were closing their whole portfolio. And so one of the things that Johanna and I worked on last year about this time is we're going to have a re-merchandising strategy. And so we've identified 20 brands that we want to bring into the center. 2 of them are expansion tenants, and 18 are new-to-market brands we're bringing in. So we've got pretty much every space working with a new tenant. Some of them I can talk about today, and some of them you guys are going to be really fired up about when I get them signed. But people like Reebok has long wanted to be in the center. They're going to do one store in North America this year. It's going to be at Nebraska Crossing. They're going to do that because they're owned by Adidas, and Adidas has got a highly successful store here, draws a big footprint, and they saw a real opportunity to build that brand here. Echo's another new-to-market brand we're bringing in. And a brand that I shouldn't talk about, but I'll mention, is Estee Lauder. They're going to build a store here. And what's unique about Estee Lauder is they own a big conglomerate of brands, but you're going to be able to buy your Bobbi Brown, your MAC, your Tom Ford cosmetics here. You're not going to be able to buy those anywhere else in the state. So it's going to be a neat add to the center. All the top restaurants in Omaha are now looking seriously at us at building us. I think they see our vision and our future and where this project's headed for the long run. So we've got some really new good restaurant announcements coming up as well. But we're going to keep growing. We've got really good industry relationships. I know we're going to talk about just data, but the whole key, I think, in the future of retail is looking culturally how you run a shopping center. That has to change. The old days of I build a store, I collect rent, and I just go home at night are long, long gone. Those days are over, and if you don't reinvent yourself, I don't think your future is very good for retail. So we got a lot of good things we can talk about in the next segment, but we're going to have 18 new brands, 2 expansions this year. The mayor's a great partner, all the way from Sally McGuire to Jim Timmerman to now Mayor Evans. I mean, I got a dream lineup of people to work with here, and they help me every step of the way. It's phenomenal.
One thing we haven't talked about yet is the Fast Cash app, and there's a special announcement for this new store, Scarlet Highway.
Yeah, what my thought was in working with Taylor and Johanna is part of what you have to do to succeed in retail today is you have to build a community. Those old direct-to-consumer models, I think those are gone now. I think what we look at it differently is you have to build a community around the brand, around the shopping center. So we're going to do 30% cash back through Labor Day. And we're going to give our shoppers a huge incentive to come and experience this brand, understand the brand, and then really motivate them with cash back. Because once you get into our cash back ecosystem, we learn a lot about you, and we can really treat you like a very, very special customer, and that's what it's all about in running retail today.
And if you want that fast cash, all you have to do is go on your phone, hit your Nebraska Crossing app, and when you're on there, you can find the fast cash at the bottom. Sign up for it. You put your credit card information on there, and then as soon as it's live, you always use that credit card. When you're buying things at any of the retailers here, you always get 15% cash back, but 30% here at Scarlet Highway for this summer, so that's pretty cool. Hey, before we go to our final break of the hour, we do want to work in our real estate development spotlight, which is sponsored by Noddle Companies. Noddle Companies is an Omaha-based full-service real estate development firm and can be reached at noddlecompanies.com. One of the projects that Noddle Companies is finishing up right now is the new Valmont World Headquarters. Valmont is a Fortune 1000 company based here in Omaha, and one of Valmont's subsidiaries is a company by the name of Locker. And Locker is creating a facade for the new Noddle Companies headquarters, which are rather the Valmont Industries headquarters, which is located in Heartwood Preserve near Boys Town. It is going to have architectural facades that optimize sunlight while reducing energy costs anywhere from 5 to 25%. And they're also very, very attractive. So if you haven't seen that Valmont building, just take the Applied Parkway exit off of West Dodge Road, and it's right there. Very attractive
It's
building.
just west of the Onyx Auto Dealership.
And that is your Noddle Company's real estate development spotlight for you today. Last break of the show coming up. When we come back, we're going to have the lightning round from Turner Construction. And as part of that, we're going to find out about this company, Just Data, which is different from but somewhat related to Nebraska Crossing, that's doing amazing things for the retail industry and the metro area. So you're listening to Jeff and Trenton on Grow Omaha, brought to you by D&M Roofing and NAI NP Dodge on News Radio 1110 KFAB. Okay, this will be a short break.
2-minute break.
Okay, good. Yeah, we love this break because it's already short.
Cut out. Oh, we cut out.
Our signage guy did those. Yep.
What's it metal?
They have a laser machine that kind of cuts
It's
them
metal,
out.
like metal,
Yeah, it's metal.
and then is it foam or what's it can't be too heavy.
I think it's pretty simple. I mean, it's not heavy
It's
because
not-
of
Tania?
what it is.
Could you tell?
We do so much work with them.
He's super good.
I don't even
tell,
bid anything anymore. I just let Chuck do it. And he
He
gets
did
it.
stuff for the
He
NBA.
did.
to play the
Our
out
logos as
music
well.
loud?
He made a ton of money.
Okay, so I can
doing
hear it
covers and
because
all
I'm going to
the
use that
NBA.
as my
We're
sign
doing,
to
like,
stop.
contracts all across the NBA.
Okay, so we're just going to go full speed until I hear that.
Every franchise, because that didn't look like they're
Thank
full,
you.
so
Yep.
They would print all those banners
Oh,
and people.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you put the faces on them too, or?
I don't know the exact because I'm not an NBA guy, but he's telling me Design 8 is the name of the company.
Club seats at the CHI Health Center for Eric Church, and I don't follow Eric Church, whatever. $169 a piece for concerts these days.
Oh, they're more than that.
Oh, a lot of them are, yeah, but it's,
I thought it was
Just
like
for a club
$800.
seat. I mean,
No, for one seat, for one
yeah,
show.
$600 sometimes. For like Lady Gaga came in. It was
Did that go
like
on
$800.
You'd have to pay me.
come to me for my money.
I don't want to. I didn't.
$1,000
I'm good.
Well, I remember when like in high school, back in
We
the
need
80s,
to lock that.
I think it was,
Kelly, shut the door, will you please?
I think it was,
Can't talk.
the Jacksons or whatever, when they did their reunion tour or whatever, it was like $100. That was just huge back then.
Wow. Did that Eric Church, is it not till February?
I didn't even look at it.
I think
A
it's
friend of
till
mine asked.
February.
Yeah.
Marking it 11 months or 10 months ahead.
Yeah, well, they have your money. I mean,
That's my mom. She'll talk through the whole show. Over there in the silence.
It's Mother's Day.
Not quite.
they've had my money for the
You can't kick her out
Olympic
tomorrow.
swim trials for 2 years.
And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals and Trenton Maggot at your service, Grow Omaha, and this is the lightning round brought to you by Turner Construction. Hey, you know Turner, they're that big company that has come to Omaha and decided to act like a small company here in our marketplace because they really care about the community and they want to do projects of all different sizes all over town. Locally, they're famous for doing the Sarpy County Data Center. You may have heard of it. You may have driven by it on Highway 50.
Still going.
It's still going. It will be for a long time. But they're doing projects all over town, and they have this cool local office in the Mastercraft building, North Downtown, Millwork Commons area. And as we always say, if you are in the trades and you want a good place to work, you will not do any better than Turner Construction. So go ahead and check them out. They are building for the future. A couple quick things really fast. New restaurants coming to La Vista City Center. Franco's Fresh Mexican, the Dak Shack, which is kind of lobster rolls and island drinks, and Lincoln's Pub, an additional location of the bar in downtown Council Bluffs. Won't open until 2022, but those will be on 84th Street between Giles and Harrison. Alamo Drafthouse Cinema locations in Omaha, both at Southport and Midtown Crossing, will open in June. A 9-story building is planned for Midtown in the Blackstone area. It'll be immediately west of the Kempton Cottonwood Hotel, bordered by 37th, 38th, Farnham, and Harney Streets. It's a $44 million project, 161 apartments, 20,000 square feet of ground-level retail. And finally, Habitat for Humanity and the City of Omaha are teaming up to develop the old troubled Wintergreen apartment site that has been vacant for many years now at 51st and Sorensen Parkway, 88 single single-family houses or planned construction will begin in 2023. Well, we are live at the brand new Scarlet Highway Boutique store here in Nebraska Crossing, Interstate 80, Highway 31 in Gretna. It opens for the first time today at 10 o'clock, which is only 10 minutes for now. So get in the car, listen to Grow Omaha on the way out here, and you're going to love all of the amazing things that are at Scarlet Highway. But I want to bring on Rod Yates, who is not only founder of Nebraska Crossing, but also someone who has founded a high-tech, fintech, e-commerce type business called Just Data. And Rod, we talk about the Fast Cash app at Nebraska Crossing. That's a Just Data product.
It is, and not many people know about this because we don't talk about it a lot, but really the whole purpose, the strategy of Nebraska Crossing was to create a data analytics company masquerading as a shopping center. So the consumer who comes in here, they just get treated great. But what we're trying to really figure out for our retail brands in the center is who are your core customers in the trade area. We want to be really, really good at customer acquisition and retention. And so what we did with Fast Cash, it's really a great way to reward our customers in the trade area, for us to learn a lot about them in the trade area and really communicate with our brands better so our stores can be more and more profitable. We not only drive them offline into Nebraska Crossing, but we drive them to our retailers' online channels as well, because we look at this as one big omni-channel, and it's really, really important that our brands get access to the customer at all levels. And so that was really the genesis of Just Data, is to really reinvent how you run a shopping center. Our view is a big cultural change. We're getting lots of attention with it now. But our view is the shopping center should be run like an ecosystem. And there's the retailers in the ecosystem, there's the landlord, and then there's the customers. And they all work together really, really well. And since we've launched this, now more and more we're seeing applications that we hadn't thought about originally, Johanna and I hadn't. And now we're seeing other type uses, commercial uses around the country. We had a long call with a professional sports team yesterday in the Major League Baseball about how they could use Just Data in their ecosystem. Again, most people don't run ecosystems, but we've gotten really, really good at it. And a really big win for me I'd love to see Husker Athletics become an ecosystem and reward the sponsors, the fan base, the season ticket holders, and then obviously the university. So they're complicated, they're hard. You got to build a lot of tech to make them work. And we perfected all that with a couple really stellar fintech partners that have helped us make all this happen.
So what you're saying is that this program that has allowed the Fast Cash back, the amazing fintech ecosystem that's here at Nebraska Crossing, is scalable all over the place, and that this business could be a major player based here in Gretna, Nebraska.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just use an example as an apartment complex. So let's talk about Broadmoor. I think they're the big residential landlord, well-run company, phenomenal product. But if they had 20,000 units, we could easily create them an ecosystem where the renters in their apartments could get access to gym workouts, gym memberships, to restaurants, dry cleaners, all these kind of things that all play into the ecosystem, and everybody wins. So if you rent in Broadmoor as an example again, I haven't talked to the Broadmoor folks yet, but I will. But if you create an ecosystem, they can really set themselves apart from all the other apartment complexes in the community by creating all these cashback benefits. So if you shop at this gym, the renters in Broadmoor get cashback, or this restaurant and all this. So it's got unique applications, but it's really, really valuable for all the participants. I've never worked on a product in my life where everybody wins as much as everybody in the ecosystem. So it's got a lot of applications, a lot of opportunity. Again, we're going to do it here in Gretna, Nebraska. We're going to hire a bunch of people to come and work on this with us. There'll be $150,000 a year jobs. And my commitment to the community is to build big businesses around this ecosystem called Nebraska Crossing.
And the backbone's already set up, and is it justdata.com or?
Yeah, it's through Just Data.
Is that the website, justdata.com?
Yep. And so what we would do, Trenton, the best way for us to do it, if somebody has an existing app like Huskers have a great app, is we'd just plug in a software development kit right into their app that would allow us to execute all the things we're doing here at the shopping center level, and we could do in an athletic program as well.
Well, it's very exciting, and we're going to keep in touch with you about that, Rod, as Just Data grows and starts working with some of these pro sports teams and unique businesses and other retail places around the world. But it's a very exciting other example of a fintech company starting here in the metro area and making a worldwide impact.
Yeah, huge opportunity.
Rod, thanks so much for having us. It's always an honor to be here.
Yes, thank you, Jeff and Trenton. Love having you in Nebraska Crossing.
Thank you. Mayor Mike Evans, it was great to talk with you today. Congratulations with everything you have going on in the city.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate everything you do.
Johanna, we always love spending time with you. You're doing amazing work here.
Thank you.
And Taylor, congrats on the new job. You're launching this boutique, and we're excited to see how it all plays out and grows.
Thank you so much.
And that's it for this week. Make sure you get down here to Nebraska Crossing. This brand new boutique retail store opens in 5 minutes. And you can get gifts for Mother's Day. In fact, I will... Wait a minute. I better not say anything because my mom might be listening.
Always.
But I'm planning on leaving here with a gift for you, Mom. And maybe you might end up doing the same thing, too.
Now I don't have a choice, but I was already planning on it.
No, I'm sure you already got your mom something.
Sure.
Okay. Well, that's it for this week. I'm Jeff Beals.
And I'm Trenton Magid.
You've been listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by NAI, NP Dodge, Commercial Real Estate, and D&M Roofing. Of course, the lightning round brought to you by Turner Construction. We will chat with you next week at 9 o'clock right here on News Radio 1110 KFAB. If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.